Here we go. Hello, welcome back. As usual, I'm Andrew, and with me is John. We're playing the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last week, we got through some testimony with the,
Mario and Luigi.
I don't think we're completely done with him yet.
Oh, no.
I remember, I think I stopped, damn it, I stopped somewhere that I forgot that I thought was memorable, and clearly it wasn't.
Yeah, I can't really tell you what happened.
We're either about to get to new testimony, or we just finished testimony, and there's about to be a twist.
I think the twist...
We can look at the log when we get in.
And I want to say, we're just waiting for Herlock to show up, basically.
Yeah. History. Okay, yeah, because so they saw the victim holding a gun, which is wrong for several reasons. Because A, they said they couldn't see the victim, and B, the victim shouldn't have a gun.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question, they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun, which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person.
And there, sure.
Yeah!
Yeah! Well, that's a new voice from last week. Order! Witnesses, explain yourselves at once.
Well, the thing is, they weren't supposed to, He's about to literally just murder them in court. It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that a false witness would be the death of you. He just pulls out a gun. He just goes into the court record, grabs the gun, and shoots them.
My god.
Yeah.
Am I to understand that you replace the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies?
Ever so sorry, Governor. Truth is,
Cut it out, Nash. Cut it out. If we blab now, what it'll do to us.
He? Who are they talking about? Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There's no other option available to you. Bruv, come on, the game's up.
But I'll have our guts for girders.
In case that hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out. Jake says it's very important that they didn't say he, they said E.
Mm-hmm. On the night in question, it now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place.
Nope, not the venue. Yeah, well...
Do we have to?
Yeah. On the pain of death. I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. They are awful forgiving in this courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
Encounter with
Unless you're the learned Nipponese friend.
Right.
Alright, so we just got inside the gap and we heaved a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug.
Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it.
For an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chopped me over the counter.
I pulled me gun on him, and then he legged it through that door into the back room.
We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear.
I totally believe you. This is like the third time we told the story.
Yeah.
So you're now telling us that just moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop. Well, yeah, sorry.
Well, we find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably.
But honest, Governor, this time...
This time, Nash, this time, we ain't got nothing more to hide. Very well, counsel for the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for. Finally. Totally for real this time.
The lights go down, the disco ball.
Yeah.
No.
This is my chance. I guess we just press everything.
Yeah.
Hold it!
When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim and proprietor of the shop, Mr. Windibank?
How ageist of you. Well, sorry, I mean, that's right.
We was keeping a close eye on the entrance to the gaff, obviously. But we never thought no one was going to come out of the back room like that. Back room being the pawnbroker's storeroom.
Yeah, that must be where we're popped from. Only place it could have been.
So it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises.
Which means Jenny must have been in there at that point as well.
That doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Windibank into the storeroom with her at gunpoint, why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you see the accused at that time?
What? That Moldula? Couldn't tell ya.
No way, Cabo. We had bigger fish to fry then.
There's always a bigger fish.
I mean, the old geezer just lost it.
Hold it!
You mentioned that Mr. Windibank shouted those words in your previous testimony, too. However, you claim that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door. Oh, did we? The truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he? Yeah. Hold on, I haven't had... So, he was shouting, "Give me that gun," right?
Yeah.
Not like drop your gun or like show you, like, so what if this gun that they had, this is what they stole from the store?
Oh.
I don't know why. I mean, I just using a previous murder or something. I don't know. I don't see anything super distinguishing on it, but
The thing that trips me up is the hammer system. I've never seen a gun with a hammer like that.
oh yeah, this is funky. It's actually like one of the like Joker guns that shoots out the little flag. This is bang. Was the victim, a Mr. Windibank, wielding a gun at the time?
Was he ever blimey lummet? A great ugly barrel he had, pointed straight at me for peace.
So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Windibank with the gun at that time. Is that right?
It is, Gov, it is. Spot on.
Then all of a sudden he came at us, he did.
It was bedlam. No, who was going for who?
We're clearly all going for each other.
Like Nash said, we thought we'd had it. mean,
Let's see.
Hold it!
Yes, I noted that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony too.
oh yeah, of course we do.
He knocked us over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull, whatnot.
I got tangled in some marionette. What knocked over a picture frame? What knocked them scales on the floor?
So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock those things off the counter? Well, Big Bruv over here went flying over that counter like a gunshot, I can tell you. Then the old geezer pinned him. So maybe the store was cleaned up again? Because, like... Well, no, because we know that they were still there when we showed up.
Yeah. And, I mean, they admitted to cleaning up afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. Maybe I'm going the wrong way. Okay. Anyway.
He didn't actually did. If you ain't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a bloomin' pancake in a second.
At the time in a question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via a secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There is a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. That's right. When the brothers fled the scene and back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they? So, but he didn't do that when Jenny showed up with a gun?
Yeah.
Or maybe he pushed it when she was there and it was very fast. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Winterbank. He did everything he could to protect his shop.
So, like, put a lock on the door, I guess.
Yeah.
I pulled my gun on him. Oh, this is where we've heard this. Okay. I thought we were about to get something in evidence about the telegraph.
Hold it!
Were you intending to shoot Mr. Winterbank? Nah, never. I was just, looking to introduce him to my bullets. Looking out for me, bruv, weren't I? He was being flattened, don't forget. My man whose shop was being burgled, yes. And then, the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your gun at him. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away, then ran off through that door and shut himself in. Something about that last remark. Something doesn't quite ring true.
I wonder why Mr. Winterbank ran away into the storeroom.
What? Because he's trying not to die.
Well, according to what everyone's saying, Jenny was there waiting for him with a gun.
Yes, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Winterbank's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Winterbank's hands again?
I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it?
This little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it. Look, the point is, me and me bruv here.
That's right, Nash, that's right. Me and me brother here.
Okay, so something is going to be, So, it sounded like something in this was a problem. I guess we might as well just...
But what would we present them with?
Yeah, something like this. Could be that. Like, showing that it wouldn't make sense for him to run back there. Or this, maybe. press the next one, see what happens.
Hold it!
You say you had nothing to do with it? Nothing at all!
Gov, nothing. The old geezer went and shut himself in the back room, didn't he?
Locked it was, from the inside.
We know it was, because we tried to open it.
But it's a decent door, that one, good and strong. Wouldn't budge an inch. So in the end, the situation remains unchanged.
But wait, why would you try to open the door if someone just threatened to shoot?
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were set there to rob it. Like, they were really, that's why they really did the case.
Yeah.
But probably not the actual murder. I don't know. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. The sole person who could possibly have shot the victim, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade. Ah!
It would indeed appear so.
Guilty.
Die! What say you to that, counsel?
I don't know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could have possibly shot Mr. Windibank? Okay, well, we must say there was... I mean, we know that they had a gun, and there was one shot in it.
Yeah.
Or one shot fired. But that was probably the shot that was in Holmes. Or Sholmes. So if we say that, who else? I mean, there must be somebody.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we have any evidence. What if we could say that it's Sholmes because we weren't there, like, because he got there before we did? That would be amazing. Like not to, like, believe it, but just to, like, stall the trial.
Yeah.
I can see Ace Attorney doing that. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Eh, what?
What's that look for?
The moment you admitted that you'd encountered the victim face-to-face that night. The course of this trial changed completely. It did? What is your point, my learned friend? The question that we must answer is, who could have shot Mr. Windibank? And it is the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer at all. Are we just going to say them?
I mean, possibly.
Yeah, oh, because, like, they could have just taken the guy's gun, shot him with it, planted it on the girl, and then shot Holmes with their own gun.
Yeah.
You'll have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts. So pray, what other possible answer to the question of who shot the man could there be? Well, we know there's a window in the door, so...
Yeah. And there are two people. One can hold the door, the other can...
Yeah.
Counsel! You must now provide answers to the court in respect of the two conundrums.
Two, my lord? Twice as many chances to be right, maybe? Hell yeah. Let's do it.
Indeed, namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim, and furthermore, where was the victim at the time?
So I think the location of the victim is where he was found, because there's no, like,
Yes.
blood marks or just drag marks or anything. And they shot him from outside the room, like behind the counter.
Yeah.
Are you alright, Rudo?
Oh, I didn't actually say my lines. Understood, my lord. I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I am sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely. Bigly.
Yes.
So now, time for some clarity. Shows the court on this plan as the answers to the questions posed by his lordship. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where that person could have fired the gun. I guess like here? Like anywhere like on this line.
Yeah.
I guess where exactly was his body? This is for some reason not shown there. Yeah, so like I guess like right behind the counter.
Yeah.
I don't see anything popping up or anything. Okay. Okay, not. Oh, different. Okay.
Take that!
Defense believes that the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. It kind of, I don't know if it's the line from the desk, but it looks like a big cowboy hat.
It does.
Like they had a duel at high noon. And an answer to its second question. Assuming the culprit fired from the location indicated, where was the victim at the time? Bleh.
Oh, wait.
What?
We've already goofed, but continue.
Okay.
He was shot from someone below.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was shot from someone shorter than him.
Oh, you're right. You're right. What if
Which
he was?
is why it's likely it's McGilded that shot him.
Right. Well, what if he was jumping in midair, and so I changed the angle of the bullet?
I mean, given how this game is,
Yeah.
that is entirely plausible.
Let's see. The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Continue. Mr. Windibank died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired?
So, you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the store.
Sorry, I just realized I should check the autopsy report to see if like there was like gunpowder residue on the body. It's too late now. And I also cut you off. Where is the fucking autopsy?
Isn't it that
Here we go.
document there?
Clipboard, yeah. Okay. There's no like there were burn marks on it or anything. Sorry.
No.
Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony, I pulled my gun on him, and then he legged it through that door into the back room. If Mr. Windibank ran away through the door, we have to assume that the door was open at the time.
Ah!
Or like they shot him as he was running, and like the door slammed behind him or something.
Oh.
Like Gina shut the door in a panic.
Mhm.
It was precisely at that moment when the victim was fleeing for his life that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. Ah!
Yeah!
Nice.
The way that you cut off was so perfect.
Why you cut me off?
Like, you're, all I heard was like, ah! That was pretty good.
Great.
Come to think of it, you do remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial.
Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states that the bullet enters the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. Which was, it was very slightly. Oh, and and this one guy's like short as fuck.
Yeah.
So that would make sense. Anyway, it means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself.
Poor man, shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety.
Ah, of course! He would have been leaning forward as he was running away. Wow, I was almost correct when I said he'd be jumping. Wow. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it still would have entered his body on upward trajectory.
So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Winterberg.
Objection!
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room. Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock?
I thought it was automatic locking door.
Oh, was it automatic locking door? But like, there's also, we know there was a girl in there, so she could have locked it. Is there anything about the door? I don't think we actually have any like evidence that pertains to the door in particular to remind us if it was automatic or anything. But what if someone else locked the door? Yes, there's someone else who could have locked the storeroom door. Is that so?
Now, counsel, present your hypothesis to the court.
Well, it must be Gina, right?
One would think.
No.
In the scenario provided, the defense's assertion is that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom. In which case, who shut and locked the storeroom door from the inside?
I thought that this conversation meant that we got it right with with the two locations we picked, but like, what if like it's all three of these factors combined, and we still like are in the wrong solution entirely? That'd be amazing. No, Iris, this one, right?
Yeah.
Take that!
I don't know like why she wouldn't have just told us that. Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Objection!
That's absurd. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room? For what possible reason? To keep the bad guys out? Suggestions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck.
I'm glad to agree, I must say. Well, counsel?
What, are you serious? Ah, yes, that's a tricky one, that, isn't it? What? There was two guys with guns outside!
Yeah, she just saw someone get killed.
Is this... well, okay, if it's not her, then it must be one of the other brothers, right? Like,
Yeah.
they reached through the window and locked the door. Oh, yeah, here we go. Iris is gonna be like, yeah, you idiots, she was scared.
But of course, Jenny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it?
It does?
Well, if I was Ginny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars just had fired a gun in their direction, hadn't they?
Oh, yeah. Duh.
Yeah.
Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Windenbank were in the storeroom together. How is the 10-year-old girl the only one here who noticed that?
The innocence of a child.
Exactly. At the murder trial. Now, I don't know what went on between them at that time, but at some point, Mr. Windenbank must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom.
Intruders, eh? That's us, bruv!
If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. And probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. Dang. Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Windenbank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment? I see where you're going with this. Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Windenbank. As soon as that thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
Oh, and that's why she would have grabbed his gun as protection.
Yeah. But I mean, we ain't the ones who done it.
We ain't, Gov, we ain't. You gotta believe us. I mean, come on. We never shoot no one.
And you can trust me. That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would. Because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, we shot that guy.
Yeah. There's only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin and you brothers had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windibank's murder. Ah!
Ah. Did it cut off again?
No, but it reminded me. You mean to say it wasn't the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all? I should have known it was those three brothers. They look as shady as a dense forest.
It's
Roasted.
amazing, you know.
Oh,
All
wait,
the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now.
did they say three brothers? Because they still think it's Gregson.
Oh my god.
That's amazing. I know, first time ever, and probably the last.
Well, you've done it. Surely they'll have to give a verdict of not.
And admirable effort, my learned friend. Well, what's this now?
Time for me to be racist.
He's laughing?
You find the situation amusing, Lord Van Zeeks. I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive.
I dare say. Such chicanery is the bread and butter of street performers in your provincial eastern nation. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pedophagy. What? That is a word right there. That's probably a slur somewhere. Oh, that is like, it's like not a curse word, but it looks like a curse word, right? Like,
Yes.
oh my god. What? What did you fucking say? The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly credibly cannot and will not stand. Because you'll see, it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw?
I was the one that killed him.
Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failing?
I say, Lord Van Zeeks.
I mean, I dare to explain this boring conjuring trick to whatever it is to the troops on the ground.
The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. How many classes does this guy go through? Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets.
By George, count bullets.
Okay, yes, we do run into the bullet problem.
Oh dear. He noticed then.
What?
What's everyone talking about? Because each gun was shot once. So they shot him with his own gun, threw it into the room, then shot Herlock. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah. Or, reloading.
Yeah. Counsel. Yes, sir? Tell the court, how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime? 2. Yeah, two bullets. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene.
Indeed. The defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings.
I'm gonna laugh if, somehow Herlock shot himself.
Yeah.
The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar.
He and Iris invented a gadget that shoots a bullet backwards through your own body to hit someone behind you. So no one can ambush you.
Yes. You can't kill me, I'm killing myself.
Oh my god. Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are 2 firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windibank, and the Skulkin brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun.
Yeah, indeed it does. A single bullet from each.
Wait, what if it's that Windibank is who shot Sholmes? Wait,
But
no,
then-
because we
yeah.
saw the Skulkin brothers
Yeah.
shoot Sholmes. Okay, never mind.
Well, we didn't see them. Yeah, we saw them shoot Holmes, and then like there were no more shots, and then Windibank was dead.
Yeah.
I don't know. He shot a bullet, and it like up into the air, and then it fell back down. It happened to hit Holmes. And if you look up, there's actually like a skylight in the ceiling of the shop. That's what happened. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these two brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness, I think you'll find that if the single bullet that was fired from the brother's gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it means... Windibank not shot by same gun, stop. Only one bullet, stop. Exactly. Yes, this Nipponese street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Ugh. Ah!
If only we could just ask the defendant what happened.
Order!
I forgive this guy to see her flinging the dregs of this hollowed nectar into the public gallery.
Lord Fancies!
But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct.
Huh?
Sounds like half the jury. Like,
Yeah!
the truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. That disc!
I'll be taking that whatever it is of the Gildeds down to the yard, thank you very much.
No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is mine.
I'm sorry, miss. But anything belonging to the Gilded has to be taken in as evidence now.
Yes, the music box discs. Big Gilded's music box discs. Dude, what could possibly be on a music box disc that would, like, make sense for this trial, right? Like, you can't have, like, a recording of lines, or you can't have, like, a like, speech or anything, right?
No.
Like, it's just gonna be, like,
I mean-
a sweet jam or something? Like,
Theoretically, you might be able to. But
Not-
it would be
not
so complex.
like, not with a real one. Like, with, like, a record, maybe. Like, a vinyl
Well-
record, but, like...
Well, no, I think you could, but it would have to be super, super complex.
Yeah, and, like, the machine would have to be, like,
Like-
specially
like-
made.
Hundreds, if not thousands, of pins.
Yeah. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windibank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly does not belong to her. And with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence.
Good gracious!
Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed. No crime she would not commit. The court forgets that fact at its peril.
I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence council. As a grim testament to the defendant's... Lord Van Ziekstein.
Inspector Gregson? What? Yes, Inspector?
We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and I think it was agreed that the disc wouldn't be used as evidence.
What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? Yeah, like, what could possibly be so important about this disc? That's the first time he said anything to Van Zieks at all. I am unaware of any such meeting.
But those were the instructions right from the top. The government's bigwigs were insistent.
Yeah, the whole government is hit on this disc.
It goes all the way to the top.
Yeah. Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Yeah, so I think this is like tying into what we think his real agenda is, like internal affairs, like looking for that like spy ring,
Yeah,
or whatever. And he's like, so he knows that the music box is important for that for some reason. So he's trying to bring it out. Your warning is noted. Thank you. My job.
they're gonna kill my kids.
The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord.
Indeed, bailiff.
The music box disc has been entered to the court record. Into the court record. Bleh. The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. More like baseness of character. There is nothing more to add. Oh, what does it say? And the note says, for McGilded.
For McGilded. That's the man you defended in court a couple months ago, isn't it, Reno?
Yes, or rather, mistakenly defended.
I wonder what his name is doing on the back of this disc.
Oh, I got a follow from Pedekin. Thank you for following.
Hey, thank you.
Good to see you. Anyway, that's a question I'd love to know the answer to myself. So now that we have like the blood spray, we can see what color this guy's blood was. Is
Ooh.
this was the fancy guy, the eggs guy? I don't know how relevant it would be to have his blood color, but
Yeah.
Oh, Reno, look. This is blood.
yes, you're right. Just a small smear, but definitely blood. Actually, it feels like I might have noticed that before. Yeah, we were there when it happened.
Oh, then it's my time to shut again. I thought I'd been waiting forever.
So, like, the only way that this color would be relevant is if, like, it was green, like the blood that we assume is Herlock's.
Yeah.
Or, like, the victim's blood color, which would be really weird. I don't know.
Alright, hold still with that disc, Reno.
Can we get this done quickly, Iris?
In a flash.
Oh, okay, so it is green like the blood on the wall.
We brought shit again.
Wait, that color.
What is it?
It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? So maybe this is not the same disc that we saw before? Because, like, I feel like that blood on the wall must be Herlock, right? Because we saw him get shot.
Yeah.
But, like, it's either that or, like, the bullet is still in Herlock. And, like, sits separately to all of the things that we've been over already. Like, the eggs guy came back and was shot. It's either that or, like, this is a different disc than the one we saw before that has Herlock's blood on it for some reason. Or I think, like, I think she said that the gun spray, like, works on blood type or something. So maybe they just have the same blood type.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. The blood samples portfolio has been updated in the court record. I mean, so we know it was. Okay, I can't do anything with it yet, but I'm sure they'll come up. Anyway.
Yeah, because I mean, like, we haven't had a chance to talk to Schultz yet, so it's entirely possible Bullet is still inside him.
Yeah. What if he's like, yeah, I saw the whole thing. It was that guy over there. Like,
Oh my god.
he knows everything. I just didn't bother to ask him. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once for all of 5 minutes.
Oh dear. It wasn't even for 5 minutes, Renault.
That's what she said.
My lord!
I wonder if I might say something at this point.
Proceed, Mr. Foreman.
Been stumbling about a bit on my fog up to now, and truth have been told, but all of a sudden, God, that accent changed a whole lot in that sentence. As is fully obvious to me, and mind me, there's only one thing for it.
Oh no.
Very well, the court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you wish to present your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Okay, so what if... So I bet what's going to happen is we're about to get into a jury argument thing.
Yeah.
One of them is going to mention, like, well, we know that there were only 2 bullets, and we know that one of them went into her lock, and we'll be like, actually, it turns out we were wrong. And that bullet wasn't into her lock.
Hmm.
That's how we're going to get through it. And so, but, like, something happened to her lock. Like, there was a bang.
Yeah.
But, like, maybe, like, they somehow faked a gunshot, or, like, it was some other noise, and, like, they, like, stabbed him or something. Like, he had some other injury.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
We have a consensus among the jury, it seems.
But you have eliminated the impossible. Whatever remains must be the truth.
That's my line. I wrote that for her. Oh, how dare he use it against us?
Don't worry, Arius. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Winterbank. That's beyond any doubt.
We will proceed with the second summation examination of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready?
Cannon Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir.
Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty.
Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions.
Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say. Different breed to us all, law-abiding citizens. Like your wife.
Yeah.
As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted.
Oh, there we go. That's gonna be our end.
Yep.
You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket. I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief. The accused attempt a theft on the The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can sign in for a busy day ahead.
I am ballistic expert. I have seen many shooting, some of which I have done. There is nothing I do not know about guns.
I have shot the many Romanovs.
I have shot man, woman, and child for revolution. Alleged.
Like, he didn't have anything to do with the case. He's just like, yeah, I know guns.
It would seem there is little remaining room for doubt.
I have to admit I was rather bowled over by the argument put forward by the chap in black. But when that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'd jolly well been hoodwinked. Well, no more.
The whole courtroom is turning against me.
It's not fair.
Iris?
To sit on the council and not be given the rank of master.
Take a seat, young
Prosecutor's
Skywalker.
being mean. Prosecutor's being mean. Just because Ginny's done some things she shouldn't have done in the past. That doesn't make her a murderer.
Plus, like, this is weird anime Britain, but, like, isn't it, like, against the law to, like, be like, well, you know that he did this crime because he did a crime in the past? Like, isn't that, like, that's something against something else? Like,
I
like,
don't think so.
I thought, like, if the past crime is, like, completely unrelated to the one at trial, like, you can't bring it up because it's a prejudicial or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But arguably her, like, history of theft would be
Yeah.
relevant.
Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. Here's to the truth coming out, eventually.
That's enough preamble. Council, proceed with the summation examination.
Yes, my lord. Jury examination. The defense's rebuttal. So I think we're gonna look at the guy who's we're gonna look at the expert in guns and the one who said only 2 bullets were fired.
Yeah.
Hold it!
It's the number of bullets that has you convinced?
Bullets were fired and 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asks me how many are involved for debtor, I always tell her to count the table set.
Well, that's logical, I suppose.
Although,
Yes?
sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing, or let them guess rather, like the fine china.
Does your employer dine with thieves?
So I suppose we should kill them. If there was another bullet somewhere of which we were unaware.
Oh, so we thought that a doctor left something in Holmes. What if he left a bullet in him?
Duh.
But the thing is,
Possibly.
like, if Holmes was actually shot, and also that bullet on the wall is from something else in the past, that doesn't actually help our case, right?
Yeah, not really.
Like, it's definitely, like,
Well-
weird. But, like, it would still look like that the bullet from the victim's gun had to be the one that shot him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'd have to reconsider my position.
a third bullet somewhere on the scene? Could that be possible? Okay, well, alright. So now we could present the blood evidence. Allow me to show you then the third bullet. Oh, we don't actually have it yet, but let's see.
Take that!
Seriously? I don't suppose this would pass as the third bullet? Okay, we don't have it yet, but that's where we're gonna go. It passes for a bullet as much as you pass for a lawyer, my learned friend. And from you, I'm going to take that as meaning not much. In no way does it resemble a bullet, if that helps your understanding of my last remark. Ugh.
Counsel, at the very least, I would expect the evidence you present to be in the correct form.
It's been a long day. It was just, I hate this because, like, we know what we meant, and we just don't, like, the game doesn't put in the words for it. So it's, I think, maybe we'll talk to the doctor, and he'll be like, yeah. Just, oh yeah, I forgot to say, I was working on one of the victims in this case.
Hold it!
Let's see. Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here. Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it has nothing to do with this trial, to be honest, because he worked on Holmes. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh? I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet had simply vanished from his stomach. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think? Okay, so the bullet, it was not in Holmes. So there was no bullet in Holmes. Well, he wasn't shot. Something else happened to him? I almost don't want to ask, but this surgery you've been muttering about all this time, you were operating on... What was the fellow's name now? Hairlich? No, Hairlock? No, Hairlock? Hairlock Sholmes by any chance? We called it. We figured it out.
Well, that's a HIPAA violation.
we went with the most ridiculous possibility, and it was right. Yes, good lord! Look at my real eyes. It was that Hairlock fellow. What? You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes? That's right, using the very latest anesthesia techniques, I might add. It was fairly major op, I can tell you.
We just hit him in the head real hard.
Yeah. This is crazy. Let me see, the fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said he'd been shot by some criminal or other, so I opened him up like a shot. The funny thing is, I went over his insides with a fine-tooth comb and couldn't find the bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I had to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up. Apparently, most of the time, they just leave the bullet in you.
Yeah.
Because it would do more damage being pulled out than it's going to do being left in there. Which I find hard to believe, because, like, I feel like, wouldn't you be constantly, like, if it's in your arm or whatever, wouldn't you be constantly, like, scratching it against bone or muscle as you move your arm around? Like...
It depends on where it is.
Yeah.
But muscle doesn't grow back or like stitch together naturally, and so like if you were to have to like cut muscle to get to it, you're basically ruining muscle.
Okay.
Without like, I think you can sew muscle back together, but it's like limited.
Yeah. I hate to say the obvious, but yes. Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting.
The counsel of the defense is correct.
But yeah, he's gonna be like, there's no exit wound. That's gonna give it away. Okay.
As clearly shown in the photographic print, the bullet that the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region and...
then exited his body and lodged it into the shop wall with a calendar hanging by the door.
Oh wait, was that your line before?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's alright. I think you'll find it's really quite simple if you just consider the problem three-dimensionally. Ha! Who do you think I am, son? Well, jury number 4 is about the best I can do. As soon as I saw the wound to the man's stomach, I flipped him over. Like a pancake? Are you saying you checked his back? Of course I did, and there wasn't a trace of injury. No sign the bullet had left the body at all. What? That's the point! The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards. It's exactly why I set about slicing him up. I'm still none the wiser even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can someone please solve the mystery? It's almost as much of a mystery as how this jury was put together.
Thank you, game, for being meta.
Yeah. Let me mystery for that bullet ended up is infuriating. Where's an expert when you need one? Oh, alright, well, here we go. Look at this guy. So I guess we'll pit him against the doctor and that'll reveal something. I thought you were just a tourist?
A terrorist with gun. Good day. I am visiting London for a sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please.
There's no way you're just a visiting tourist. So you're a ballistics expert? Who knew?
I have much expertise with guns.
Ah,
I have lived through many. How do you say?
Revolution.
of the people. Extreme, violent bath of, blood of, I killed lots of Romans.
Extreme violent blood deaths, perhaps?
Oh, yes. Little girl, she gets it. Those extreme violent bloodbaths. English is very difficult tongue.
Considering the sort of people you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue.
Anyway, if you have questions about bullets and guns, you ask me. There's nothing I do not know. No mystery I cannot solve.
Very confident in his knowledge of guns, that's for sure.
But if possible, please, only in Russian language.
He's not very confident in his knowledge of English, though, is he?
No, still, we should bear it in mind. He's our man if there's a mystery about guns or bullets. Van has managed to convince everyone.
Would you have eliminated it possible? He said, but he hasn't.
If we're going to fight back, we need more material. And we have to fight back. We have to turn this trial around again. Okay, so we're gonna pit the doctor against the Russian.
Objection.
Your statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other. Nice. That was a nice touch, because, like, they don't contradict each other, but that's the default line.
Yeah.
Oh, a ballistics expert!
P-I-T-T. P-I-T-T.
Peterburg. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. Since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. Juror number 6.
Hello, my name is Vila. Pleased to meet you.
This apparent contradiction in the facts is that it's so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery? Yeah, can you, as a juror, provide expert testimony?
I have seen very similar situation in Motherland. You see, when killing dogs, we could not get to anesthesia. Little girl left behind. Some say she's showing up other places. I'm pretty sure shot. We don't know. It was night. There was blizzard. There was running away along mountain road in freezing cold. Goy. The snow was piling high on both sides of roads. It was very narrow and dangerous. Comrade Lennon on my left. My pursuers had hunting rifles as they were on dog sled.
Mental note, don't ask too many questions.
I was shot from behind and fell down in snow. And this situation was very similar to what I hear today from Doctor. They could not find bullet in my body. And no sign of, how do you say, exit wound?
Then where did the bullet go?
Bullet never hit me.
bullet never hit you. Why did you fall down?
A bullet had frozen wall of ice very close to my side.
What?
One small piece, very sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. It made deep wound that looked just like bullet.
Good gracious.
Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside. And that is solution to disappearing bullet. Totally did not do it to myself to get off of front line.
Yeah. But that doesn't answer the question at all. Shooting happened in a pawnbroker's shop. Not some snowy mountain road in another country. Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here.
Rudo. Where exactly was Hurley shot again?
Well, according to the report, in his stomach. Sort of around this area, I think. Do we have a report on that? Do we have a report? Is that in...
I don't know.
I don't think we do. Unless it's in today's paper. We've seen this. No, I guess not. Okay. Oh well, anyway.
Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch in his belt.
And we had like smoke powder or something.
Oh, God.
A pouch? Actually, I might have noticed something like that.
Yes, a pouch.
Those little fireworks that you throw at the ground and they explode. He's got a patch of those for some reason.
Yes.
It's where he keeps 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his investigations.
Okay, so he wasn't shot.
They just exploded.
Yeah. What? Really? Doctor, where's the pouch Mr. Sholmes is wearing? Well... fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital as far as I remember, and my memory is perfect. If I may. Lord Van Zieks? While I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination, I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom. Sorry? As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound. Ah, thank goodness! I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment. Since then, it has been in my safekeeping along with all other evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred.
Very well, while extremely unconventional during a summation examination, I must demand the prosecution presents the item in question with all speed.
Bring forth her Sholmes' pouch?
I see. So this is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night in question, is it?
Look at that. One of the files is broken and the leather around it is scorched black. It's almost as if the file exploded.
Exploded?
So that night, the bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch. And it was the glass file exploding that caused the fellow's injury.
And his bullet did not penetrate Victor, but it was deflected into wall of shot.
I don't think it was deflected. I think there was no bullet. Like there was no shot at the time because we needed to be at some other time because of the blood color thing.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be covered in his blood if it was deflected by his suit, right?
Yeah.
Like the bullet never went in him. A delightfully complex aroma.
Well, it would appear one mystery's been solved at least.
So it has no bearing on the truth of this case. Bling. The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered. Ugh. But at least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight. Thank you, young man.
Thank you very much.
Glad I could help.
Due to its bearing on the conundrum just solved, the court will sequester the scruffy pouches in it.
These pouches and Scruffy.
I imagine if we examine it, we can be like, no, it wasn't shot. It exploded on its own.
Yeah. Sholmes' pouch has been entered into the court record.
Now, the summation examination. It would appear the defense is somewhat struggling after an opinion.
What does the description say? The pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing around his waist at the time of the shooting. One of the glass files is smashed and there are scorch marks around it. Oh, I guess it does look like it was... Oh, wait, yeah.
Oh, there's the bullet.
Interesting. Okay, so now we have the third bullet. Do I need it for the other one? It's really scorched badly just here.
Oh, the strap is broken, look.
This must be where the bullet hit then.
Let me see.
What the? Iris, look! Behind where the broken file was, do you see it?
Oh, that's... the Skulker Brothers bullet.
A stroke of luck that hit his pouch. This is an amazing discovery. What this means is... there were 3 bullets fired at Windibanks that night.
We found exactly what that Joe was talking about.
The third bullet.
The third bullet.
Oh, which means Gina shot the guy through the window. And the guy shot Windibank as he was running in
Oh!
to the back room.
Like, Gina shot Eggs' guy?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't think about that. But then what the hell was going on with the brothers? As we'll find out.
They could, well, because I think, like, Eggs guy is not connected, or, like, isn't working for McGilded. I think he knows of everything, but I think he's like a third party.
Oh, yeah, what if he's
sense.
like working with the prosecutor or something?
Possibly.
Yeah. Projectile we discovered lodged in Mr. Sholmes' pouch because one of his files was exploded, injuring Mr. Sholmes. I thought there's anything else important here, but we'll find out.
These glass files are full of Harry's homemade potions.
Homemade?
Yes, like fingerprint powder to show up where people have touched things. Or urine. And scent-applied solution to identify a smell lingering on an object.
That's amazing.
They're all very easy to use. There's just one thing that you have to be careful of.
Don't shoot them.
They're all very flammable.
Mr. Sholmes is a walking bomb. Either he's passionate about finding out the truth or just oblivious to the dangers.
Probably both.
Oh, look, there's a hole bit here at the back. Doesn't look much like a bullet hole, but clearly something's ripped through the leather with great force.
Something must have pierced it somehow to left this hole behind.
Yes, it looks that way. Mr. Sholmes and his pouch both took a beating, didn't they? Okay, so we got a third bullet. I guess I should examine that separately. I doubt we'll get anything out of it. This is a bullet that was fired from the Skulkin brothers' gun on the night of the incident.
Yes, so it turns out it never actually entered Hurley's body at all.
Thanks to the thick leather of that pouch he was wearing, it saved him.
Hurley's always lucky like that.
Well, considering what he had to go through in hospital, I wonder how lucky he really was.
Oh dear, poor Hurley.
Please, my lord. Just a bit more time. After we spent 5 minutes looking at this evidence right in front of you. After all, that's a new piece of evidence. It could be a valuable clue. You can't afford to overlook anything here, Rinosuke. There's still a way to turn this around, somehow. I'm sure of it. Okay, so now we can go to... okay, not press. Like, not, I can't present. What's going? Oh, right. It's when I pressed her. We can change it. Okay. I was going for the present button. This number of bullets that has you convinced?
Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asked how many times invited for dinner, I always tell her the court tape.
No,
Count the
okay.
table set.
We've seen this. We can skip that.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just like, I've got your 3rd bullet. He pulls out a gun. Oh, I want to present it.
Take that!
Here it is. We discovered it just now. Totally legit court proceedings.
Yes.
Yes, on the night in question in Windibake's pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired.
Hold it!
What is this new trickery, you Nepalese conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes' pouch. What? This pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes' waist before he was taken to hospital. And since then, it has been touched by no one.
Do you mean to say the shot fired by the Skulkin brothers that night?
Yes, as your lordship has surmised, it hit this pouch.
But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes. It's clearly visible in the photographic print.
Ah!
2 guns from the scene have already been submitted into the court record as evidence.
Yes. That of Mr. Windibake's, and that belonging to the Skulkin brother.
Examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each.
Oh!
But that must be... That's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene. And until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Yarg. Yarg!
Order! While the summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which the case against the defendants has been built. As it is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination.
Are there any rules?
Nope.
They can just do whatever the hell they want. Oh my god.
Yeah. Welcome to court, where there are no rules. By Jupiter!
What?
Bailiff, bring the witnesses back to the stand at once.
Like, they could have just had one of the, like, had the jurors change their mind. Again, right? But, like, they made this new rule where the judge can be like, actually, fuck you.
Yeah. I am the law!
Yeah. The law!
Weird that the one brother is sweating.
Yeah.
Witnesses!
Davida!
Oh, now the other one is.
Yeah.
Were you listening to the proceedings while the defense carried out the summation examination?
We was, Governor, we was.
Perhaps we can dispense with the tedious preamble. Simply answers this one question. A third bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that? Make of it, Gov? I don't make nothing of nothing if I can't help it. This is the wrong accent. Is it one of yours?
Kablimey, Gov, kablimey, not a chance.
In that case, did you have an accomplice? What? What? Never. The Skulking brothers work alone.
It's just the two of us. That's our trademark.
How soon we forget poor Sulky. Only 2 of the bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. This third bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it? Let me, that's an it scratcher.
Counsel for the defense.
Yes?
I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The third bullet and the mysterious missing firearm from whence it came.
Thinking back over all the testimony we heard and all the evidence we've seen, I'm starting to form a picture of what really happened that night. My lord, I think it's clear what this third bullet tells us about these Skulking brothers. Okay, so we know that they didn't have an accomplice, or like, let's see, it's probably it's nothing to do with them.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Because like that bullet must have been in the wall before Herlock was there. So like realistically, they could have shot it and then gotten rid of the gun, and the police just haven't found it. But like,
Yeah.
I think it's nothing to do with them.
Mhm.
I believe it has nothing to do with them. Eh?
Jay? That's right.
Yeah. Nothing to do with us, Gov. We've established that one bullet was fired from each of the 2 guns already known to the court. The logical conclusion, therefore, is that on the night in question at Mr. Windebeck's pawnbrokery, there was another person present in possession of a third firearm. Whilst the brothers may have nothing to do with the third gun or the bullet fired from it, it's inconceivable that they had nothing to do with the third man. Wait. Oh, so they did have an accomplice? Is that what... Yes, the brothers were working with an accomplice. An accomplice who was carrying a gun. So I guess like either of those questions was... Either of those 2 answers would have worked, I guess.
I guess. That's weird.
That's not what I said. But I guess either way, it does point to there being another person there. An accomplice, you say? Pig swill. These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Yet in all that time, there has been not a murmur of a third man, if this apparently wraith-like being exists. The court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts. Firstly, proof, evidence that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime.
The blood.
And secondly, the identity. Ah, hell yeah. The identity of this spurious character. Skulkins are lying, I know that. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding? So, I guess Eggs was there with them? I don't know.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Or hired them.
Yeah. I was thinking that the murder happened earlier. They were going to rob when we showed up. don't know, anyway, but it's making it sound like they're all there at the same time. I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice and reveal that person's identity, even. In response to the prosecution's demand, my lord, the defense is... I'm going to save here, but I'm pretty sure we have it figured out. The blood and the eggs, dude.
Yeah.
The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands. Saw my Nipponese friend. Despite his swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me if it will make a difference. We present the entire court record, like. Oh.
In that case, counsel, I would ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the night in question, in the moments leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you that there was a third intruder present at the scene?
Okay, so the blood, either the blood or the music disc, or this, I think. There we go. The evidence is right here in this portfolio.
By Jove, that portfolio again, is it?
Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific. There's like 4 whole pictures to look at. We ever figure it out? You claim one of those blood samples proves the presence of this third intruder. Well, which one is it? I forgot that like the court accepted that this is a thing. Like I feel like they would be like, no, you just painted that. Fuck off. And also, it keeps starting on. Yes, this one, right?
What am I looking at here? I would assume the disc.
I think like I think they would both work.
Okay. There appears to be some green paint or such like around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar.
That's a bloodstain, my lord.
A bloodstain?
Green blood? I'm curious, even for you. Okay, maybe we didn't explain the color thing. Is the court to understand that the intruder was some unhuman creature, a leprechaun?
One-eared Vulcan bastard.
Yeah, it's something developed by Mr. Herlock Sholmes. No, let's develop by Iris. Wow. Stealing her accomplishment.
Wow. Well,
Yeah. By the great detective. New invention stop. Not yet appeared in stories. Stop.
There it is, you see. It doesn't have a name yet, though. This Farga spray is a chemical that reacts with the different elements of people's blood to change its color.
Different elements of people's blood?
Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements.
These guys are like 20 years past doing leeches. Like, I don't know if they're going to accept this kind of explanation.
So by seeing what color it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is.
Oh, that brings a whole extra dimension to looking at blood. Talk of blood in courtroom, stop. Very exciting, stop. This is an example. This one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Winterbank.
Ah, striking blue.
Yes, so you see the green color of this bloodstain on the calendar shows that somebody else was shot in the main part of the shop.
man, could be from an unrelated incident, couldn't it?
How many shootings going on at this pawnbroker? No, it's not unrelated because of the calendar. The date showing on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Winterbank was killed.
By golly!
Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day. Then whose blood is it? Well, the Skulkin brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries. Which means it must be the blood of somebody else. The third intruder, in fact.
Objection!
Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend.
He was just about ready to say it.
Yeah. Who is this alleged third intruder?
Take that!
Man's name is Egbert Benedict.
Benedict? Who on earth are you talking about?
He's totally real. Believe me. He paid a visit to Windenbeg's pawnbrokery on the afternoon before the incident took place. When the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession. That's right. Huh. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Egbert Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. I think this is you as Egbert.
Boom! I don't remember what his voice was.
I think you went with the generic British. We tried to do like the country gentleman voice, but it didn't really hold up. So we went with the British voice. Yes, sir? I forgot his voice too. So were you.
I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you now. We'll try it.
Here we go. Yes.
The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once.
Now that's a lie. Well, what are you trying to pull?
Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel, and needless to say. Any music box discs too?
Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc.
Can you corroborate this account, Inspector?
Yes, my lord. That's more or less what happened. And in the interest of being thorough, I asked Windenbeg's for a print showing the fellow.
Oh, nice.
Taken from his red-handed recorder, Gubbins.
Yes! That's him talking to Mr. Windenbeg that morning.
And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice?
Well, Mr. Skulkin? Never seen the geezer before in me life.
God of my life, never seen him.
Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with the assertion.
I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned Nipponese friend's actual assertion, which is that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. So now we show the disc. Yes, and I can't. Show us the evidence.
Agree, we must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in the photograph is a filthy criminal as you say he is.
It's all coming to this moment.
This is the last piece of evidence. I've had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start. But now I'm going to drag it kicking and screaming into the courtroom.
Are you ready to present your answer in the court, then? Counsel.
Yes, my lord. The defense will present the evidence now. Proof that the man pictured in this photographic print was in fact the person struck by the third bullet.
Take that!
As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted, deceitfully, admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Windenbeg's.
Which is when the aforementioned Egbert Benedict appeared on the scene.
Didn't we think it, like, she had the real ticket for the jacket, and it was in the jacket, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, and then, like, we thought that the guy had the fake ticket. I don't know, anyway.
This man then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possessions? No.
That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred. But of course, here's the disc for you.
Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style.
Wait a minute, that disc is mine.
Ah, do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal.
Being a music box disc, it has countless small but sharp metal protrusions over its surface. Those protrusions caused Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed. The resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now.
Goodness, a bloodstain, isn't it?
My assistant and I have just analyzed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom.
Using my trusty fork again.
Yes, and we added the results to this portfolio.
Say. It's green.
It's exactly the same color as the blood around the calendar. The evidence is conclusive. A man calling himself Mr. Eggert Benedict, who was in Windibanks earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that same night. So there was someone else there. Look at those two brothers now.
Those funny boys.
Oh, what are you talking about? I'm right here. My lord, it is the opinion of the defense. Mr. Eggert Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify.
It would certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection!
This has gone on long enough now. This is flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law.
Is it? Do we know the mechanics of law?
Yeah, are there mechanics of law? Sherlock Sholmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. He's a protagonist in a series of short series for the vulgar classes, a god of detection or some such. And now you employ chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona in the highest court in the land. You expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. Does he not think Sholmes is a real person? Does he think it's just in the story? That would be amazing. He's like, what the fuck? This is real? So is the bloodstain turned to a shade of green. What of it? Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world returns the same color. Well...
God.
And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it. Okay, so he does know he's real. Is he right? Is Mr. Sholmes... I don't know. I mean, he's a great detective. What are you talking about? We can't let him get away with it. Oh, my cat is sitting just out of reach. Looking very cute. Very frustrating.
Which one?
Ash. And he knows it. He's like, yep, I'm cute. I knew it would come to this. Of course, Mr. Sholmes' invention isn't going to be recognized by any official body. You know, of all the bullshit objections they get to face, this one makes sense.
Yes.
So, like, this one, like, I can't even be mad. But what other choice did I have? I mean, we could get Sholmes in and show that it's not his blood, right? Like,
Yeah.
all we really have to show is that somebody else was there. So, like, we could just take blood samples from all the people who were in the room, and if none of them are the same color,
Then we're good.
at least we can show that. Like, and if you can show that the machine is consistent, so like the same, if you take the same person's blood, it doesn't just like change color or something. But what other choices do I have?
I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before. About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination.
Ah,
In other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it?
Good grief, what did you just say, young girl?
And in summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it? So the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention.
ah, here we go. Waiting on a technicality. Let's go.
At least, not for now.
Yes, she's right. The system is bullshit.
Young lady, you've quite the devious mind.
It really just comes down to one thing. You're idiots. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Ripley. Is that about right, would you say? Or did I misunderstand something?
Unbelievable. Mr. Sholma's partner is a force to be reckoned with.
Iris Wilson, sharpshooter.
After that shrewd presses of the situation from an entirely unexpected source, it must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion.
This is absurd.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for your final reading of this matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I am sure you will come to fair and just conclusions.
But the Russian isn't even a citizen.
I know.
So then state your final decisions in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Not guilty.
Hey, let's go. Oh my god. I know, John, you can't see, but Ash is just rolling around on the floor, being super cute, looking at me like, come pet my belly.
2 called guilty and 4 called not guilty.
Oh my god. Ash,
It's unfair.
come over here, and then I can pet you and be on stream at the same time. Oh my god, he's a very silly cat.
Such is the outcome of the summation examination.
Objection.
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. Who thought of this system? The prosecution refuses to accept this decision.
On what grounds?
Because I'm losing!
Yeah, if these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgments of anyone's guilt.
I'm sorry, Lord Van Zeeks, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored.
I wonder, like, this is complete nonsense, but like the Queen can like can dissolve Parliament, right?
Yeah.
Like, is it the same thing with courts? Like, do the courts like rule in her name? So like, can she just like walk in and be like guilty, and that's it? Like,
I don't know.
because I apparently like she doesn't need a passport because the passports are issued in her name. So like, she can just be like, yeah, I have permission to go here. Like, I don't know.
That is kind of funny because it's like, I am giving myself permission.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe in the past, but I doubt now.
Uh-huh.
This trial will continue.
Because, like, I can't remember if I was funny, but, like, a buddy of mine does IP law.
Yeah, you told me he was like in a legal case against the crown.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, maybe?
Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear that will be impossible.
What?
The name of the gentleman gave for himself, Agate Benedict, is quite clearly false.
I don't believe it. That's why I managed to prove the man was there that night. I have no idea who this is. Could I say something? Whoever I am?
Who was that, please? Who spoke?
Oh, here we go. It was me, my lord. Turn number 5.
What have you to say, madam? He's my husband.
Yeah. If possible, Inspector.
Me, ma'am.
I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again? The one in which the gentleman is shown? Is she gonna know him somehow?
All right, yes, this one you mean. Mr. Benedict.
Yes. There's no doubt in my mind. Turn number 5, you don't mean to say. You know this man? Yes, I know him. What? No!
Good gracious! Order! Chair number 5, how on earth?
I'm a communications officer. Stop. As we can clearly see, the gentleman in the photograph is stop. Also, a communications officer. Stop. He works in my office. Stop. A very talented operator. In fact, stop. He should be in the communications station now. Stop. Tapping away on the telegraph. Stop. That would make sense how he could be part of this, like, spy ring. Like, he just sends off telegraphs or whatever. It doesn't seem right somehow. I can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right.
I suppose we all imagined the accomplice would be some sort of armed criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out that he has a respectable job by day, whether he gets up at night.
Yeah, I suppose that's it. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong.
If the gentleman is at London's communication station, we should be able to subpoena him within the hour. Lord Vanzeet, if you please.
Yes, my lord.
Make the necessary arrangements with all haste.
As your lordship bids.
The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson. Yes, my lord. I should like to hear from you specifically about the events at the pawnbrokery on the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess.
Come give your testimony while court is not in session.
Yes. Yes, sir, my lord. Very well, court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m.
Bailiff, bring me my bagel. I'm hungry for lunch. To be continued. We're about at the time, and I think this is a reasonable place to stop because we just got to it. To be continued. So you're gonna be good next Wednesday?
I'll actually be good this Friday.
Oh, sick. Yeah, let's do that then.
Cool.
All right, so we'll be back on Friday then to talk to Mr. Eggs.
Nice.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for following Padakin earlier. That was cool.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on Friday. Goodbye.
Okay. Bye-bye.